There we go. Right, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm really excited. This is my very first webinar ever. And it's on a new platform. This platform is called Graphy. And it's a platform that I am going to be working on going forward, doing both webinars and actual courses. So tonight you're actually a bit of a guinea pig. So enjoy that. Thanks again. And I think let's jump right in. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can see some of the slides that I've got ready. And let's go for it. So the art of living slow in a fast AI world. It's basically trying to harness AI without losing your peace of mind. Because when we think of mindfulness and when we think, or slow living, and we think of AI, they seem to be things that clash. AI is this fast-paced technology. Slow living and mindfulness and intentional living is a much sort of more relaxed, steady thing. So, yeah, how do we marry the two? And just to let you know that this slide presentation was actually made with AI as well. It's a program called Gamma. I'm trying to use all sorts of AI to teach on AI just to prove the point. Sorry. So usually we have hectic days. So let's just start by being centered, by being present, by being here. So take a deep breath and just center yourself in this moment. So breathe in possibility and breathe out overwhelm. And just do that a few times. Technology is so overwhelming today. So breathe in possibility and breathe out overwhelm. And that's something you can do quite regularly. I just find taking a few breaths always centers me. So, question: how often during the day or during the week do you feel rushed or overwhelmed in your day-to-day life? I have just thumb-sucked these percentages. They're not actual statistics, but at a pretty good guess, I would say that the vast majority of people feel the daily rush and constant pressure. Anybody who's in the work world feels that, feels the rush, feels the constant pressure. So I think most people would say, I often feel rushed or overwhelmed in my day-to-day life. If you're one of the lucky minority, you might say sometimes I have occasional stress peaks. And I sometimes feel like I'm moving towards that, but not quite there yet. And then the very, very fortunate are the ones that would say they rarely feel rushed or overwhelmed in day-to-day life, that they are mostly calm and centered, which is really one of the goals of mindful living, of slow living. So I'm hoping that by the end of this session, you'll see how artificial intelligence and mindful living can work together to give you more time, presence, and joy without adding complexity. And when I talk about AI, I'm talking about AI tools. So my story, you know it pretty well. My entire life, I've lived in cities until two years ago when we moved to the little village of Rosendal. And the whole story around city living is a constant rush, is endless distractions, and is often feeling disconnected to the things that really matter the most because it's always a rush. There's always traffic. There's always this tension. Our bodies are tense. Excuse me. Whereas village life for me became something so completely different. I learned to discover joy in unhurried moments, in just slowing down, in noticing tiny little things like a flower on a walk, a bird singing. One of the big things for village life for me was noticing the seasons. In the city, I never noticed seasons changing, whereas in the country, It's very noticeable to me. And it just taught me to become more aware of the moment, to become more aware of everything around me. And it became such a joyful thing that it's become like a little bit of an obsession with me, is to live in the present, to be aware. And because I'm still working, there's always stress. And I often find that just going and standing outside on my deck and looking at the mountains in the background, it allows me to relax. It allows me just to center myself again and to be present. And that's the thing that I'm wanting while I'm using AI tools. Okay, is that I've still got that awareness. I'm still in the present. I'm not getting caught up in the rush of the fast pace of technology. And what I realized is that AI tools can handle the repetitive work, which will give me more time and more space for the mindful moments that I'm so desperately seeking. I learned that technology doesn't have to be a distraction. It can be the silent partner that gives you back your time. So now the challenge is finding that place of presence, awareness, peace, and calm, dealing with stress in the middle of anything, in the middle of a busy city, in the middle of anywhere that we find ourselves. So some of the, I'm just going to quickly look to see if there's any questions. If you've got anything, please. Everything has become so fast and AI has changed everything to the point where I feel scared by it, and I hope this webinar will help. Thanks. I've got to say that it is pretty scary. Um, there are fears. There definitely are, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But first of all, let's look at AI with wellness and the myths around that. So first of all, the big myth is that AI increases stress, and it certainly can. It's developing so fast that to keep up with it is exhausting. I used to feel like that about social media back in the day. Now it's even faster with AI. And so that can increase stress. And then, like you were saying, it can be scary. Where is it taking us in the future? And that fear of the unknown is another thing that's where it can increase stress. And of course, the big area where AI can increase stress is where people are losing their jobs, and it's happening all over, and it's definitely going to be happening more and more and more. I read, I forget where it was now. This morning, I read one of the big corporations. I don't think it was Adobe, but it was a big corporation like Adobe, who have just retrenched 1,100 people because they can use AI instead. The flip side of that is that AI is also creating completely new jobs. And so to be afraid of AI is holding us back from possible opportunities where we can be used, where we can either create work for ourselves or get jobs. So the reality of AI and stress is that, sorry, that's somebody who's meant to be coming in. She's sending a message. The reality is that AI increases stress when we use it unconsciously. So the big thing around AI is how we use it and why we use it. And when we use it intentionally, it will reduce overwhelm. So just a few examples from my own life is I do a lot of of social media posting, and I do a lot of videos of myself talking and sharing stuff. And so what I've done now is I've created a few AI twins, and all I have to do is go in and type in the script. At the moment, I'm still recording my voice because the voice clones just sound so unlike me. But it's saving me so much time. I don't have to, all I have to do is know the script, type it in. My clone does all the actions and the speaking. And at this stage, I'm still recording my voice, but it's going to get to the stage where I don't need to record my voice, where the voice clone will be able to sound just like mine. We're not there quite yet. Um, all the voice clones love American accents, and the South African accents just did not sound like me at all. Um, Another way that I use AI is, there's so many books I want to read, and I'm not talking about novels. I'm talking about, like business type books and things, and I just don't have the time to read them all. So now I give AI the book, and I just ask it to summarize and highlight the main things for me, and I get like a summary of that book, which helps me. If it really interests me, then I will go and read the book. But it saved me a lot of time. And then later on, I'll share a little bit about how it's helping me with my morning work routine. So I've started very, very simply because I'm not a techie. But my morning work routine, I would say I have cut the time down to not quite half. Maybe I've cut off about a quarter of the time that I was before. So, and it's just through a simple little work routine that AI helps me with, and AI taught me how to do it. So, myth number 2 is that tech disconnects us from nature. And I'm not quite sure where that comes from. I guess people just think nature and technology don't have time for each other. But the reality is that by using AI in a responsible and an intentional manner, it creates more time to be able to enjoy nature more. And also, there's more and more apps and AI technology that actually helps us in nature, like um, identifying birds or plants and that kind of thing. Myth number 3, which is a big one, is AI is cold and mechanical. And I found that uh, the complete opposite to be in my case. So the reality is it supports deeply human goals like creativity and connection. So a very simple example is my iPhone health app. I've been working on um, trying to get in touch with my own emotions, my own feelings. And so my health app on my iPhone has a thing that comes up every single day and says, "How are you feeling now?" I think you can create times so it can come up 2 or 3 times a day, but once a day is fine for me. And I have to stop and think, okay, what am I feeling now? Why am I feeling like this? And it's just helping me to be more in touch with my emotions. And so I see it um, as something that it's not cold and mechanical. Now, just a caution here, the opposite can happen as well. So there's been a few instances, especially younger people have started developing some sort of relationship with ChatGPT. I think it's been mostly ChatGPT. I do stand to be corrected. To the point that there was one case where a young man actually committed suicide, and his family obviously saw all the things on his ChatGPT account. And what had happened was initially he was just sharing how he was battling through stuff. And initially, ChatGPT was like helping him through it. But the more ChatGPT understood what he wanted, its ChatGPT started to turn and to encourage him to do what he wanted. So that's one of the huge cautions of AI is especially those large language models, is that you have to train them to answer you with honesty and not just to give you what you want. So I know there's a memory in ChatGPT, and you can go in there and you can tell ChatGPT exactly what sort of responses and replies to give you. So, for example, I would say, I don't just want you to be a yes man. I want brutal honesty. I want you to give me objectivity and things like that. I've got a whole prompt somewhere, and if you want it, I can give it to you. But that is just one of the cautions of AI, is that it wants to please you. So you've got to prompt it in a way that is you're getting a more objective response. And that's more when we're talking about uh, wellness, where we're using it, let's say, like a life coach type of thing. The less mental energy you spend on repetitive work, the more presence you have for what matters. AI as your mindful ally. So it can help you with your mental space, pretty much like what we've been talking about. It can help you with task automation. And today there's the whole thing about agents, AI agents, which I'm still very much learning. And then, of course, it's all about mindful time, having the time to really do the conscious living practices that you're wanting. All right. So the mental space, AI frees your mind from the repetitive tasks, allowing you to focus more on maybe more creative things or maybe more strategic things, whatever it is that you know, the human things that you want to put in, but the boring tasks AI can take over. So it can handle the routine work, all those automated things. And that's a little bit of what I'm doing in the morning. That's a much deeper topic, and it will be a whole um, workshop on its own. So, interesting book, Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. And he talks about, he says that digital minimalism is using technology intentionally to support what you deeply value while ignoring what doesn't. So for me, that's exactly what I'm trying to say in living slow in a fast AI world. It's using AI and technology to support my values and then not using it for the things that doesn't support my values or support my lifestyle. And he brings up three main factors. He said that clutter is costly. Too many apps and tools dilute focus and drain mental energy. And I know that for me is very, very true. Um, so it's about focusing on the apps and tools that feed your lifestyle, feed what you want. Then he talks about optimization. So choose the best tools that align with your core values and priorities. And then intentionality satisfies. So it's from getting rid of the clutter to optimizing what you want and then living that intentionality. Conscious technology choices lead to inner peace and clarity. Um, so for me, I have found that I've got some. I like to play games in the evening before I fall asleep. I know it's the very worst thing to do, and I've got to stop that habit. But there's a game that I recently discovered. It's a ridiculous game, but I got so addicted to it. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it. But I've realized that that game is totally against my mindful practices and things. So it's something I need to delete. Whereas I have another game that I sometimes play, which really, really helps me because I battle to focus on one thing at a time. My mind is like boom, 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 all over the place. And this particular game makes me look for these things. I have to really focus to find these objects. And so for me, that is optimizing. I mean, this is a very simple example, but yeah. And basically, the apps and AI tools that I use are ones that will help me with a mindful lifestyle. So, like Mind Valley is one of the apps that I'm always using because it's teaching me lots of things in the mindful space and living intentionally. Insight Timer helps me with meditations and things like that. So, for my lifestyle, those things really, really suit me, apart from the business tools, which we'll talk about as well. All right, so what you need to do is close your eyes and just imagine one daily task, repetitive task that you could hand over to AI. How much time would it save, and what would you do with that free time? And those are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself to balance your mindful lifestyle with AI technology. So, a good I haven't done this yet, but this is something I am challenging myself to do. Maybe I'll do it in December, is to take a month long break from optional technologies. So it doesn't mean I have to completely chuck everything out, but it's just to allow me to rediscover meaningful offline activities. So to spend more time outdoors, that's what I want to do. And then after that month, selectively decide which technologies to reintroduce into my life. So it's a form of decluttering and it's a reset. So it's not a detox as such, it's more a decluttering. This is just a little something in the middle to bring us back. Now, let's look at some of the fun things that I've been doing. So for me, so many people are overwhelmed by AI. So many people are frightened of it. So many people are just pushing it away and saying, I'm not interested. What I decided to do was, I know I can't beat this thing. It's here and it's here to stay and it's growing rapidly. So, how am I going to embrace AI and how am I going to use it in my life? So, I decided I was going to play with it. All right. So, here are 3 ways that I have played with AI, and it's definitely helped me change my mindset where I can see it as an ally. Obviously, not being obsessed with it, not being over dependent on it, but having fun with it and using it to enhance different things in my life. So, the first thing is encouragement. So, what I did was I created a personal anthem for myself. I looked at my values in life, the things that I want out of life. I looked at the type of music that I like, which is generally sort of more indie style, sort of Billie Eilish, that kind of uh, genre. And I created my own little anthem where whenever I feel like I need a little pep up, I'll play this little anthem to you. So I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to stop sharing here and then let's grab the next one. Sorry, share screen, and here it is, Chasing Horizons, it's called. So I used this app called Suno, and everything that I'm chatting about tonight is the free versions. Okay, so I am going to be moving on to, and in fact already have moved on to some paid versions, but everything I'm talking about tonight I've been doing on the free versions. So Suno is a music creation app, and I came on here. I didn't write these words myself, but I put down thoughts. So you can write your own words if you want to, but I just put down some thoughts and I chose indie style. I said slightly mysterious. I can't remember what else I said. And I didn't check before if this would play. Here we go. Let's play it. So can you hear it?
Pack the map, I'll leave it torn. Follow rivers where I was born. Trading clocks for mountain air. Sketching dreams in midnight prayer. No need to rush, I found my pace. Rooted deep in time and space. I'm living rich, not in gold, but in soul. Chasing sunsets where the wild things grow. Mind wide open, hand.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there, but it just gives you an idea of what can be done with AI. You know, you can create your own songs. My grandson came to stay with us, and he is absolutely dippy about superheroes. So he created a superhero called Waterman, which we then on AI we created a look for Waterman, and then we came to this Suno app and we created a song for Waterman. So it can be used for creative things. I'm not saying it's the best music in the world, and I'm certainly not saying that you can sell the music, although people are doing it. But it's just a fun way to play with AI and with your kids or your grandkids or whoever. My little grandson just loves his Waterman song. It's a heavy rock song because he loves rock music, and it's really fun. And then that little anthem that I played you now, just simple sort of, what's that, Taylor Swift sort of style of music, and the words that mean something to me. So I challenge you to go and make yourself a personal anthem. Go and play with Suno, the free version. You'll be able to do it, and make your own personal anthem. It's really fun, and you'll have fun doing it, and you've got something to keep forever. Right. Another fun thing that I've done with AI is I've used it for planning. So I've got a veggie garden here in our little village, well, in our plot, and I'm fairly new to vegetable gardening, certainly on a bigger scale. And so I asked AI to help with that. So now I want to share the next screen and just show you what I did. So I went to ChatGPT. Let's look here. And I said, imagine you're an experienced vegetable gardener in the Eastern Free State in South Africa and are planning a vegetable garden for spring. I'm going to ask you how to plan my veggie garden, giving plot dimensions and a list of veg. So then ChatGPT asked me all these questions, and then I gave him the dimensions, all the veggies I wanted to plant, all of that. And ChatGPT then gave me this whole strategy, told me the companion groupings, the layout, different zones, special crops, what to do, flowers and things to help with pollination, and then some practical considerations. Gave me a thing of when to plant in the East State in spring, and gave me this simple little layout. Now, I didn't do it exactly like that. I did change the layout somewhat. You can have a look here, but I used what ChatGPT showed me. And I have the highlighted things in orange is where I have, sorry, there we go, yeah, are the things that I've already planted. I've still got to plant the other things, but this little veggie garden is looking amazing already, and it's showed me exactly what to plant when, and it's told me the things that I can do in succession planting. It's told me all these fun things. So also just a fun way to use AI in your life and still stay mindful. I mean, what is more mindful than being out in the sunlight, in the soil, working with your hands? Fantastic. Then, oops, sorry. Then there's mental wellness. So when we're talking about mindfulness, intentional living, slow living, all of that revolves around mental wellness. So you can ask AI to highlight your strengths and your growth areas, creating a balanced self-awareness without harsh self-criticism. So earlier on, I said if you're working with ChatGPT, you can put the memory on in the settings, so ChatGPT starts to get to know you really well. Also, remember the caution that I gave that it is still it's not a human being. It is a machine, so you can't get carried away with relationships with it, but you can ask for lots of help. So let me show you an example of what I did. I've been doing an art of manifesting course. Oh, sorry, let me just show you. I keep forgetting to stop sharing. I'm showing the new screen. All right, here we go. So I've been doing this art of manifesting course. And one of the things I had was a whole bunch of questions which are in this brief here, which I gave to ChatGPT. And I said, can you come up with a few more for me, please? So ChatGPT then said, all right, to deepen that reflection, you'll benefit from questions that bring in clarity of vision, emotional state, belief systems, and the energy you're putting out. And then it gave me some more questions to work through. It even asked me if I wanted a manifestation reflection worksheet. And I said, yes, please. And so it gave me this whole worksheet to work through. So then I said, thank you. Looking at all of these questions and knowing what you already know about me because the memory has been on, what advice would you give me for going forward? So ChatGPT said, here's my straight but supportive take. Based on what I know about you, your values, your coaching work, your mindful living approach, your side hustles, your book, and your drive to create freedom for yourself in midlife. And then it gave me this advice, which I'm not going to read it all to you, but let me tell you, I was blown away because so much of this is so relevant to my life. Then it even gave me some alternative perspective and a practical action plan. So this is, really interesting and really helpful stuff. Obviously, you've got to do it with balance and you've got to, have intentionality. I think that's the most important thing. Okay, but it's very, very helpful. So these are some of the ways I played, and I just want to encourage you play with AI, enjoy it. Don't get caught up in the panic about it. Don't get caught up in every single new thing that comes out. Okay, it's here to stay. So the big question is, how will you respond to it? So let's look at the journey. So what I do is in my morning, I've got a morning's job, and I asked AI to help me with my morning routine. I said to AI, I want to have my routine tasks made simplified. So how can I do that? I then gave it a list of the routine things I had to do, like check my emails. There's a bunch of routine things I have to do, and AI gave me three options. A very simple option using my computer and the apps on my computer, a, a sort of intermediate option where I could use things like Zapier, scheduling tools, that kind of thing, and a difficult option where we could create AI agents. But you need to be a little bit more techie for that. So I went with the very first option, and basically it taught me how to um, create little shortcuts on my computer to get into things quicker. So let's say I've got a routine where I have to check mails and quite a few different email addresses, look for spam, that kind of thing. And all I have to do is click on one little shortcut that I've made on my computer, and boom, 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 all those things open up. I go through them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's done. And so it used to maybe take me anything up to an hour and a half. It's now taking me maybe 40 minutes. Simple, simple little shortcut. And that is how AI can help you. And that is the easiest way for non techies. I'm going to learn the more difficult ways with AI agents and what have you as well, but I'm not there just yet. But even so, with the most simple way, I'm still able to make use of these tools. Um, right, and then at midday, I have a reminder with a mindful presence break. Um, with that whole art of manifesting course that I was telling you about, I've got reminders that go off on different my computer or my phone, reminding me to go through certain things. And then it's just giving me so much more time for the so in the afternoons I'm sort of doing my own work and doing it much, much quicker. And then I've got a lot more gratitude time, reflection time, out in nature time, doing all the things that I really, really love doing. So it's not choosing between speed and stillness. It's about creating a rhythm where both can flourish. So, are you ready to build your own personal mindful AI blueprint? Because what I'm going to be doing in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks is launching a course called Balancing AI Efficiencies with Mindful Living. And in this course, it's going to be a self-paced course. It will be on this Graphy Pro platform, and you can pay for it and then run through it at your own pace, where you can build your personal mindful tech blueprint, where you can learn to save time without burnout. I've shared with you very few little examples tonight, but there's so many more. And where you can learn to integrate AI and slow living seamlessly. So just before we go into questions and things, basically what we've spoken about tonight is to say that AI can be a partner in mindful living, that small changes can lead to big time savings, and that time saved can be used for presence, peace, and joy. And honestly, for me, that middle one is so important. It's tiny little changes, like my little morning routine, such small changes, but have made a big, big difference. And that's just the start. I'm now going to ask AI to start to automate more and more of those repetitive tasks so that they get done. If I can cut all of those repetitive tasks down to half the time, it's just going to make my life so much more pleasant and so much easier. And that's what this is all about. It's not about rushing to stay on top of everything, the next best thing. It's about what suits my life, what makes my life easier, what gives me more time to do the things that I really love doing. So this course, Balancing AI Efficiencies with Mindful Living, the normal price is 499 Rand, but for the launch, which will probably be going for the next month, is going to be at a 50% discount. And what I will do is I've got a waiting list here where I want people to put their name, email address, mobile number, and then what AI tools do you currently use, and any particular AI topics you'd like to learn about. So if need be, I will create extra links for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that link in the chat here. And you're welcome to go in and be put on the waiting list. There's no obligation. If you don't want to buy the course, that's absolutely fine. I would love you to fill that in anyway so that I can see the type of things that you are interested in. And I said this was going to be 45 minutes, and we're just short of 45 minutes. So if you've got any questions, now would be a great time to ask them, and I don't mind what the questions are about. The access, it just says here copy link. So after the thing, I will find out exactly how to give you the access, and I will email that to all of you. Those of you who have signed up here, I've got your email address. Any questions? Okay, then we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for joining me for my first one ever. There weren't a lot of us. I did see we had somebody else with us as well. But I have recorded this, so I will make it the recording available. And I will probably do another webinar, same webinar, next week, Thursday night. So if you've got anybody who you think would benefit from this, please let them know about it. And of course, I'll have it all over social media. Thank you so much, and have yourself a fantastic evening.